Hello, good day. So our topic for today is Taxation 101, Computation on Income Tax per Categories. Then after this, we would now be moving to our corporation. So our learning objective for this one is number one, to be able to know what are the rate of income tax in the Philippines. Number two, to be able to differentiate income tax for compensation earner and business tax. To be able to know how to compute for tax purposes. So let's proceed. Here is what we have. So for income tax, we have different category. We have the resident citizen. We have the resident citizen, non-resident citizen, resident alien are subdivided further into two, which is not engaged in business and engaged in business. The category would what? Would allow you to determine whether it's engaged on business or not if that person will be able to stay here in the Philippines for more than 180 days. If that person stayed here for more than 180 days, then that would now be considered as non-resident alien engaged in business. If not, like for example, those who just do concert here in the Philippines, they are now engaged, not engaged in business. So if you would see for our citizen, non-resident citizen, and then resident citizen and engaged in business, they are almost the same for within the Philippines. See? Within the Philippines. And among the three, only one only one group is difference, meaning that the resident citizen is taxed within and outside the Philippines. For the non-resident citizen, the resident citizen or resident alien rather, and non-resident alien engaged in business, they are only taxed within the Philippines. Okay? But and so with those that are not engaged in business. So let's take a look. So for compensation for resident, there are taxable both within and outside the Philippines. That's yes. For the non-resident citizen, only within the Philippines, as well as for the resident alien and the non-resident alien engaged in business and not engaged, only within the Philippines. So for business income, take note, or for professional, they are also taxed the same as compensation, except for not engaged, since a not engaged in business cannot practice here in the Philippines. Okay? Wala silang ganun activity. They are not allowed to practice here in the Philippines unless they will be able to secure all the licenses that are required. So we have the passive income. So passive income, these are also our income subject to the 20% because we earn certain income doing nothing. So these are royalty fees. However, for royalty fees, the government, since ito kasi yung mga inventions, nagkikreate ng books. So, nagbigay siya ng leeway. Ang tinatax lang for this one is 10%. Okay, 10% on gross. That's final tax. But for other passive income, that would now be 20%. So, for royalty fees, ito yung mga inventions, books, or yung ikaw yung may akda or creations. Ikaw yung gumawa. So, to reward the activity or to promote people who will be able to venture or cater their talent. So, binibigyan siya ng leeway for that one. Next, we also have price and other taxable. Previously, price and other taxable, lahat siya tax 20%. So, halimbawa, nanalo ka sa Itbulaga or nanalo ka into some business activity, you will now be taxed 20% on that winnings. Previously, merong isa na hindi tinatax. And that is your PCSO. Okay? And that's PCSO. However, due to the train law, pati PCSO ngayon is taxable 20%. Okay? So, winning from lotto or anything na government yung taxable siya. Kaya sometimes, di ba, pag nanalo ka ng car, magbabayad ka pa rin or hinihian ka ng cash because that's taxable. Okay? So, we also have interest income from Philippine Currency Bank deposit yield in any monetary. So, eto naman, kapag kung mapapansin nyo kasi, di ba, kung meron kayong mga bank account, so, nag-deposit kayo doon, nag-earn yun ng interest, meron ng withholding tax, and that's also 20%. Pero for interest in bank, ini-encourage kasi ng Philippine na mag-impok tayo sa bangko ng mas matagal or sa mas mahabang period. Because each money that would flow from one person to another will increase its value. Kasi kumikita tayo eh. So, because of that, the government nagkaroon siya ng leeway, sinasabi na kapag magde-deposit ka more than 5 years, that's not taxable. So, tax exempt siya, hindi siya subject sa passive income. Pero dapat 5 years or more. So, yun nga yung mga long-term interest income deposit. So, this one is not taxable. Interest from foreign banks and cash dividend are also taxable. So, ano pa ba yung kasama sa passive income? These are, number one, syempre, is your awards and winnings or yields. So, yields, number one is yields, yung mga interest nga natin sa bank. Yung isa is awards and winnings. So, kung mga nanalo ka na, halimbawa, naging CPA ka or top notcher ka sa board or meron kang mga awards coming from your company, that's taxable 20%. So, kasama din po yun. Kaya lang kasi wala dito nun. But for resident citizen, it's included. Then, you also have the winnings, yun nga yung sa lotto, which we had discussed previously. We also have the rental and the royalty fees. Kasi, di ba, we have yung mga rental, wala kang ginagawa, pero nag-earn ka. So, taxable siya by 20%. And then, you also have your dividends. So, yung mga dividends, ano rin siya, tinataxable din siya as 20%. And other source outside the Philippines. So, let's proceed. So yung tax rate natin, so take note, resident, all source. So, within and outside the Philippines. So, syempre, yung deduction niya, expenses din worldwide. So, tax rate, subject siya dun sa ating table. For non-resident citizen, resident alien, non-resident alien, engaged in business or not engaged in business, sources within the Philippines only. So, yun yung difference nila. For deduction, syempre, kung Philippines lang, within the Philippines. Pero for NRA, hindi siya. Wala siyang deduction kasi tinatax natin siya gross. And then, all of them are subject to the schedule or yung sa tax table natin annual. Okay? So, for example, Adolfo was an employee of a tech company in the Philippines earning 60,000 monthly plus rice allowance of 1.5 per month and 13 and 14-month pay to 120,000. A medical benefit of 12,000 yearly. So, take note, resident alien to. So, Philippines lang siya. So, let's compute for the annual. We have 12 months. That's 60,000. So, we have 12 times 60. That's 720. Next, so de minimis. We already discussed the de minimis, diba? Ulitin natin. So, for rice allowance, so we have the monetization pay for private entity hanggang 10 lang. For government, all. Okay? For rice allowance, kailangan hanggang 1.5 lang. For clothing allowance, dapat hanggang 6,000 lang. For medical benefits, dapat 10,000 lang. For the performance benefit, hanggang 10,000. And, lahat ng matatanggap mo pa should now be subject to the limit of the de minimis benefits, which is 90,000. So, in excess for the 90,000 at lumagpas dun sa mga said limit ni de minimis benefit will now be subject to our tax as the usual taxation or yung usual na subject like yung salary natin. So, let's compute. We have 720 rice allowance, 1.5. Hindi siya nag-exceed kasi dapat 2,000. Si medical benefit, nag-exceed siya ng 2,000 kasi 10,000 lang yung ceiling pero 12,000 yung binigay. Tapos, binigyan din siya ng 13 and 14 month. So, we have 60 plus 6 is that's 120. Sabi natin, may ceiling si de minimis na 90,000. So, subject pa to additional was 32,000. So, overall, meron siyang 752,000 taxable income. However, since siya ay empleyado, meron tayong SSS. So, we just refer to the table. Dun sa previous natin, na-compute naman na natin to, and that's 125. We have the PHIC, which is 3%, or 3.5% rather, because it's 21 na, divided 2, so that's 1,050, and then pag-ibig 100. So, meron siyang taxable deduction of 27,300. When we deduct that, the taxable na lang is 724,700. So, ito-check natin sa table, makikita natin na that 700 is above 400 but below 800. So, dun siya dun sa table na yon. So, we have the first 30,000, yung 400, and then in excess nung 400, subject to 25,000. So, we have 30,000, then 324,700 times 0.25, that's now 81,175. So, total tax due natin would now be 111,175. So, you could also deduct kung meron mang mga final tax na we need hold. So, magkakaroon ka ng 2306 or 2307. So, you could deduct that. Okay? For non-resident alien, not engaged in business, kasi diba, yung mga previous naman natin, engaged na. So, sa not engaged, sabi daw, nag-earn siya ng 720 dito sa Philippines, rice allowance 1.5, bonus of 12,000, medical insurance of 12, he stayed for only 100 days. So, ibig sabihin, not engaged talaga siya. So, let's compute, annualize. So, we have gross pay, 720. Do we have deductions for de minimis? Wala po siyang ceiling. Hindi siya i-consider kasi not engaged. So, unless merong reciprocity law. Kasi kapag may reciprocity law, ina-allow din sila. Kung magkano yung binibigay sa Filipino, dun sa lugar nila, whichever is lower. But that's for our non-resident alien. Okay? So, we would add. So, 123,000. Wala namang applicable na ceiling because this is not engaged. So, gross. So, yung 843,500, hindi titingin sa table kasi sabi natin ang tax rate niya is 25%. So, we just multiply it by 25%. So, we have 210,875. Okay? So, two scenario tayo. Second scenario, Adolfo was paid the following deductions. The following net of deductions. So, we have professional fee, 500, sources Philippines, and then 500 and abroad. Expenses, so meron siyang rental expense na 120 here, 80 sa abroad, and then transportation, 75,000 here, 50,000 sa abroad. Communication, utilities, and so on. So, yung net income niya, Philippines, 213, sa abroad, 230. So, let's proceed. Sabi daw, i-compute natin, una, for resident citizen, pangalawa, for resident alien, and then, dun sa dalawang category ni non-resident alien. So, alam natin, kapag ka-resident citizen, ay all. So, ang total niya is 1 million. So, yung expenses niya, ito total din natin. So, yung net income niya is 443,000. So, let's compute. Guys, bakit hindi na tayo nagkaroon ng deductions or yung mga SSS? Kasi sabi naman, net of mandatory deduction. So, sa 443,000, magpo-fall pa rin siya sa above 400, but less than 800. So, 400 first 30,000 in excess, 25%. So, yung babayaran lang niya or tax dun ng resident citizen is 40,720. Okay? So, ulit nyo, pareho si resident alien at saka si non-resident alien engaged in trade or business kasi Philippine source lang. Okay? So, let's proceed naman dun sa non-resident alien not engaged in business. So, sabi daw, Philippines lang. So, meron siyang 500,000. Yun yung income niya. Gross. Sabi kasi doon, gross. So, times 0.25. So, we have 125,000 as his taxable or her taxable income. So, if you have questions, just comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you like this video, please help me reach out more people by hitting the subscribe and the like button below. God bless you and always keep safe. Bye!